Waunini and Dianibira. Nyase Vini, another episode of Leading Ebira with Alex Adeiza. Of course, Irehamori Alex Adeiza. So quickly on this episode, I will be teaching you Ebira in the kitchen. And this episode seeks to help you understand some of the items you use in the kitchen and some of the terms that form the conversations, the usual conversations you will have in the kitchen. So we'll go right straight into it without wasting much of your time. So what is kitchen itself? Kitchen in Ebira is Irinuasi. Irinuasi. You know, growing up in Ebira land, if you grew up in the village, that's where you are likely to hear this, but if it's in the urban area, you might not hear it. So everybody will tend to say, most people will tend to say kitchen, 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 or a kitchen. But the original meaning of kitchen in Ebira is Irenu Ase. Irenu Ase. We already know what Irenu is. Irenu is mouth. To be honest, the Irenu in it is what I know, which is mouth. So it's like the mouth of something. The Ase, I don't know, I think I'll still need to do my research on that, but it's the fact that kitchen is Irinuase in Ebira. So what are the items you are likely to find in the kitchen? You have the spoon, the plate, the food itself that you make. You have the oil, red oil, vegetable oil, you have your matches, you have the fire itself, you have water, you have fish, meat, and the rest of them. So I'm just going to go through a few of them, and anyone you don't know or I might probably forget in the course of the episode, well, you can mix it with English. You know how we do. So kitchen itself is Irinuasi. So what do you do in the kitchen? You cook food. You make dishes and various kinds of Ebira dishes, and food is Isa or Ere. So to pronounce it better, you say Isoere. Isoere, because Isa generally means something. Isa means something generally, whether it's related to kitchen or not. Isa means something. So the Oere means edible, something edible, something you can eat. So mixing them together gives you Isoere. You understand? Isoere. So Isoere is food. Wherever Isoere is food, whatever Isoere is food. So then you have your fire. Your fire is Era. Fire is Era. Fire anywhere in Ebira land or in whatever conversation you are having is Era. Whether it's a Holy Ghost fire or Era is fire in Ebira. Then you have another important aspect of kitchen, aspect of our lives generally, which is water. Water is Enyi. Enyi is water. So, and if you are drinking water, you say, if you are eating, you say, Maharisa, I am eating. Re is to eat. Then hu is to drink. So Maharisa mehu enyi. You understand? So I'm drinking water is mehu enyi. Then I'm eating food, or I'm eating is Maharisa. So water is enyi. Then the other things you would have in the kitchen is spoon. Your spoon, this is quite tricky because there's always this language interwoven with other languages like Yoruba. You almost have the same pronunciation of certain things with Ebira and all, but actually for spoon, generally now you find every Ebira person calling spoon Ishivi, which is close to what the Yorubas have. But the original meaning of spoon in Ebira is Iresi. It's Iresi. So, but now generally you have Gen Z is saying Ishivi, and everybody saying Ishivi too, but nobody is saying Iresi. Again, myself, I'm likely to call it Ishivi. So, but the actual meaning is Iresi. But whichever one you call it, an Ebira person will understand you, because that's the whole essence. Then you have your plate. Your plate is ichacha. Some people will say enya orisa. You understand? Some people say ichacha. Ichacha is plate, but my grandma will always call it enyorisa. You say na enyorisa. Enyorisa, enya is like a load. You get. Then orisa, that is to eat, something to carry the weight of your food. You get. So you can call your plate enyorisa or ichacha. Then I already mentioned food, and I forgot to add the varieties of Ebira food. We have, apapa, ove, apapapa. You understand? You have different soups too. You get. So soup in Ebira now is epe. Epe is soup. So they give you your iya, which is pounded yam. Now if you say shepe twom, you understand, that is put soup for me. Then you have your oil. There are two oil in Ebira. So oil generally is anwe. Anwe is oil. Then red oil. Red in Ebira is ovivi. You get. I think in the next episode we might be talking about colors, but I'm not sure. So red is ovivi. So red oil in Ebira is anwe ovivi. Anwe is oil. So some people will call kerosene, for instance, anwe oivo. That is a white man's oil. But red oil, as it pertains to the kitchen, is anwe ovivi. Then vegetable oil. Everybody knows ororo. So ororo is what it is too in Ebira. So veg oil is ororo in Ebira. So, but generally, anwe is oil. Whichever oil on your head, you get olive oil, anointing oil. Oil is anwe, but red oil, you always add the color, which is ovivi. Red anwe ovivi. So then you have your matches or your fire lighter. In matches, we call it ichana. I think that's still related to something the Yorubas have too, but that's what I know generally that it means in Ebira. Then you have your proteins, your fish. Fish generally is ivovo. Whether in the kitchen, in the water, fish is fish. So you have ivovo. But you now have different kind of ivovo. You have ivovirehui, the one they will ask you to bring during bride price payment. Different kind of fishes anyway, but the general name for fish is ivovo. Then you have meat. Meat is uye. So you have varieties of meat too. It now depends on the animal killed to produce that meat. If it's cow, you say uyi malu. If it's goat, you say uyevo. If it's chicken, you say uyahwe. You get. Malu, cow, that's beef. That is uyi malu. If it's goats now, you say uyevu. Goat is evu. Then chicken and what have you. If I know there are different things that you need in the kitchen. You also have knife. Knife is owo. That one might be tricky because for those who watched our episode where we talked about this in Ebira, where you have tomorrow. Tomorrow is owo. I'm sure I mentioned these differences before, but knife is owo. So the tone is down, but for tomorrow is owo. Then knife owo. What am I missing again? So whatever it is, you can put it in the comment section and I'll give you a response. I think I must have forgotten some other things in the kitchen, but from all of these, you can know how to form conversations, especially with most of the things we've learned in the previous episode. So typical conversations in the kitchen is, I'm going to cook. Mana misa. You understand? Then maybe I ask you, suwesi kawame, what do you want to cook? Suwesi kawame generally will be, what do you want to do? But because we are talking context now, you already told me you are going to cook. So suwesi kawame is no longer what do you want to do, is what do you want to cook? You understand? So that is when you now say, okay, mesika mitia. Mesika mitia is I want to, here is pounded yam, so mesika mi tuo. Tuo is beat. You get, so I want to beat pounded yam. That is literally, but it means I want to make or I want to cook pounded yam. So then you now ask, episu is kuweni. Epe is soup already. That's asking what soup do you want to make, for the year. And you now say, okay, you can now say epi papara. Epi papara is your what's it called? Your egusi melon soup. Yeah. Then or you say epeza. Epeza, that's bean soup. Eza is beans. Then or you have epe batu. Those ones are typical Ebira soup. You have epe batu, you have epireru, you have the rest of them. You get, so you now say epireru mesika menin. If you are saying, if you are referring to cooking soup, you understand, to cook soup is to nepe. You get, so you say me nepe. The way you say me tia, that is I'm pounding yam. You understand? If you are turning, if it's a food that you are turning like gari now, you are turning eba, you say ma teba. You get, ma teba, me tia. You get, because you still turn, it's something you are turning. You understand? So ura itisemun, ma tisemu. You get, so if it's other ones, okay, if it's the one you boil, you say ma wo. You understand? Ma ho rice, ma hueza. That is, I'm cooking rice, I'm cooking beans. I want us to know the difference. I'll go over them again. So if you are boiling the food, ma huini, ma ho. That is ma huini, ma ho rice, ma hueza. What else do you boil again? Ma hueno. I'm boiling yam. But if it's food that you have to make into paste, like a large portion, like your gari turn to eba, your yam turning it into pounded yam, your semo flour turning it into a semo, or your pounded and all of that, you chew. You now say metia, ma teba, ma tisemo. And then the third one is for the soup. So if you are making soup, you ne. So you now say me nepe papara, me nepeza, me nepe epireru. You get, and the rest of them. So that is it. So once your food is done, you say isa oseve. Isa oseve. So that is, the food is done. It's ready. You get, you say food is done. Isa oseve. Or you say isame, my food is done. You understand? So if you are inviting everybody to eat, you say varisa. You get, just inviting anybody anyways. You can say varisa, come and eat. That is from ve and eat food. That is ve and risa. You get, you now say, that's where you have varisa, come and eat food. Iso civio varisa. You understand? Or you say ve yarisa, come, let's eat. That one means come, let's eat together. Because remember the pronoun from the other episode, the pronoun y starting it. So ve yarisa, you understand? So once you eat, you kumuri havo, that is, you thank God and say umuri makoavo. You get, and I think that's pretty much it about the kitchen, cooking, and eating too, and thanking God. So if you enjoyed this episode, please invite your friends who might be interested in learning the language or trying to improve on their grasp of the language. Make sure you are subscribed to the platform and turn on your post notification. See you on the next one. Adeiza.